So hit somewhere, hit some place, it hits you economically, lead narratives to create problems. So as we go along, I'll keep matching these, weave those into the slides that you have compiled.
शुरू करते हैं सर. Let's see. Right, the anti-India narrative toolkit. सर ये आपने बताया था. I mean the previous attacks,
Yeah,
CAA,
you
farmers
see,
protest.
as you're rising, the CAA was meant to control people coming into India. So you excluded the majority from the neighboring states and you said all other minorities who have a problem, there is no other place for them in this area to go. You're welcome to come here. As far as the others are concerned, this is now the way the people didn't understand is this is supposed to be a fast track citizenship for the asylum seeker of other religions, minority religions of the neighboring countries.
Hmm.
And for the others, you have to wait your time. The process will take its time. For most famous cases are Adnan Sami from Pakistan. It took him 18 years. He's a citizen of India. वो अलग बात है कि for 1.5 years before he got citizenship of India, he had citizenship of no country. Okay, so the process is there. It takes 12 to 18 years for you. But for the others, it was to be fast tracked. Now that toolkit tried to show it and tried to tell the Muslims in India that you will lose the citizenship,
Twist.
which was not the case. They tried to soil your relations with the Muslim world. It did not happen. Yes, there were one or two. Qatar to permanently is anti-India, let's be clear. So aap kuch bhi kar lo, he will be anti-India. So that's the way he is. Al Jazeera and Qatar will be there. So that doesn't happen. But your major countries, Saudi Arabia, UAE, didn't bite. It was longer lasting within India. And the riots were orchestrated. That is a different issue that the person now charge sheet ho gaya hai, uska framing of charges ho raha hai and the chap is going to bite it and maybe he might, for all you know, he might turn approver. And then the cat will come out of the bag. Okay. When the pandemic happened, they tried to paint it as anti-poor and a lot of the states tried to, they pushed the migrants out and then tried to paint that the whole government at the center is anti-poor. That's a state subject. If a migrant is in your place, it's not a center subject, it's a state subject. The states failed. And I would stick my neck out and say that all those states which were ruled, which were anti the center, that is where the problems came.
Yeah.
Those which were not anti the center, they never faced the problem. So people may like to do a analysis of this as to why and what was the rationale and why it happened. That's a different issue that a lot of people came forward and to help them and to move them. But why it happened the way it happened? Then the farmers' protest. Firstly, I would like to state it was not a farmers' protest. It was the landowners and the Arthia, who's the middleman. It was their protest. It was painted as a farmers' protest. It was not. No small farmer had come there. It was the big farmers and it was the big landowners. It was the middlemen who used to control the flow, who would decide and on the cost and everything because they were going to lose a lot of money. As per this, only the farmer who sells gets an income tax. He is not taxed. Thereafter, any Arthia who does any transaction of agricultural product, he pays commercial tax and he pays income tax, which they were not paying till date. Now that was showcased as anti-Sikh, and you had, of course, that Sidhu character doing what he did on 26 January. But these two incidents made the intelligence agencies and the security forces wiser. And now what is happening is you find the actually the skeletons tumbling out of the cupboard, and your the face of these people who try these narratives comes out into the open, and you know who's coming from where. Of course, the Hindutva, they can keep telling. See, basically what people have forgotten is this is not the uh, India of the 50s, 60s, 70s, or 80s, which was not very well educated, and you could were not very politically savvy, and you could swing by emotions, by these narratives. You're now dealing with a very educated, politically savvy, and may I add, technologically and media savvy youth who don't get carried away so easily. And yes, the farmers' protest was the start point of wanting to start a revive, try and revive the Khalistani movement.
Exactly.
Because by then, J&K, they had realized, has gone out of their hands now. Its chapter is virtually, it's a flame which is flickering to its death, may I add. So they're trying under this cover of the so-called farmers' protest, which I don't agree, it was not a farmers' protest. And I have had my standoff with a lot of friends of mine who are from Punjab, who claimed this was the problem, till I told them, you own the land, you're not a damn farmer. Farmer is person who tills that land, you're not
What is
tilling.
that?
Yeah, you don't even know what crop he is growing. So what hell are you talking that you are a farmer? You're not a farmer. You're a landowner. जो पुराने जमाने में जमींदार होता था, आप जमींदार हैं. That's it.
Vadere.
हाँ, आप खेती नहीं कर रहे हो. आपने you have given out your land on lease to that poor farmer who doesn't have the land to till and grow the crops, and you have laid down, come X, Y, or Z, this much amount of money you are supposed to give to you as agricultural, uh, what do you say, profits, so that you will be tax free. And you're crying because with this farm laws, you will lose you income, what you gain, you have to pay tax. And करोड़ों में है यार, thousands of crores. That is the whole problem.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people. Why Canada and all these places are crying? Because you have a lot of people who own land here and who have given it there
सर पैसे
on
क्यों जाएंगे बाहर?
really given it on lease ना. तो वो फंसेंगे ना फिर. Then you can use that money for doing anything. And so they have attempted all these referendums and other things, and suddenly, see, it is now they are realizing that what they started, it is now geopolitically, they are realizing it may not be viable. अब जो शुरू किया है वो कुछ तो चलता रहेगा, ठीक है. तो that is where it stands, that it's a situation where the state finds itself in a catch-22 situation. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you do this, you get damned, because it is very clear it is happening in the Anglo-Saxon countries. एक दो अटेम्प्ट हुए थे जर्मनी और इटली में, वो द पुलिस देयर immediately squashed it. But repeated attempts is only in these 5 Anglo-Saxon countries. So it is very evident where it started from. And the rationale is, after 150 years of controlling the global trade and everything, they're finding that now they may not. And they have to cede space to India and China. A lot of space. Which, given the problems they are facing with the Ukraine war and the lack of support of more than 3/4 of the globe, is not on the same page with them, that is hurting.
Hurting big time, sir.